It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Jack Carlisle, who was the winner from not last week, the previous week. Adam Jones was the winner last week. He can't make it this week. So, because he won in controversial circumstances, I'm putting an asterisk next to his win last week, which I'm sure Laura will be happy about. And Keith can also chalk it off as a non-defeat because he's got a very proud record in every competition he's been in since lockdown, Keith. Been like the quiz champion, so I'm sure everyone bar Adam will be happy about that. But they're the break. I don't make the rules up. Well, I do, but there they are. We'll go straight into hot topics then. I asked 3 questions loosely related to a news story this week. If you know the news story, shout out the name of a random Everton player and you get to answer first. I will warn you, the news stories this week are very, very tenuous because it's everything's just Tories and coronavirus. Even I'm fed up of bashing Tories. I can't be bothered anymore. It's just taking the fun out of that. They're so inept. Anyway, let's go. So first off, got your Everton players ready? Favourite comic book character?
Shank Tyson.
Yes.
So,
you would make a comic book.
Is this the grown-up comic book, like the grown-up Beano that's coming out?
Yes, it is. Cracking answer, Foxy, to go into the lead there. Yeah, so apparently the Beano are going to publish the first comic for adults, which I think be as far away from this as you can imagine.
Yeah, have like Boris the Menace and stuff and Dominic the Bellend and whatever.
And it's called Being Old, apparently.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Jack's face is saying it all. I can't imagine how that would be good on any level. Anyway, that's the right answer. What's your favourite character, though?
So when I was a kid, it was Asterix. So if you guys have read Asterix, it's about this little village in France is holding out against Romans. It kind of feels modern day. It's sort of like Liverpool holding it out against the Tories when the rest of the country. At the time, a lot of it passed you by, so it's kind of got some funny names in there, like Girac, I say it, Getafix, who's like the druid, and Hygienic, who's like a fishmongery type guy. So it's quite a good book on different levels. I've still got quite a few around the house, but haven't read them for quite a long time. But Asterix.
That's a good shout. I used to love the animation. We had cartoons as well, weren't we? But yeah, I used to have a load of the book. I used to love the artwork in them. Really stylized and nice. And Obelix was his big mate, wasn't he?
Yeah, he used to throw those big stones about and
that's a shout. All better than French mate, Jack.
I'd say, like, growing up, I was one of them people that, like, you'd have the people that like the goodies and the people that like the baddies. So you like Batman, I'd like the Joker. If you like Spider-Man, you'd like the copious amount of baddies. And one of my favourites is the Vulture from Spider-Man, who wasn't born with any powers, and his thing was he was basically an old man that dressed up like a vulture, and it was just like looks like Davy Ha, like jumping off buildings, like in basically a suit made of cheap feathers, and that was like his power. And for stuff like that, it's just the complete delusion of it, and like it's probably as cartoony as you can get for a bad guy. So yeah, it's the Vulture from Spider-Man.
Yeah, I never really understood what his gig was there. He literally an old fella, wasn't he?
Yeah, he'd throw on a green suit and then because he was an old fella as well, like he couldn't throw hands or like have a straightener with bad, like, so he was doomed from the start. And for that sort of for that front, like, you've got to admire, like, he'd just come off the blow.
Yeah, it's that's a shout. He's ridiculous. Owen?
Well, I was just about to give a big lecture about how I don't read comics and I wouldn't know the answer to this question. But A, that would put me on -1 probably, and B, that sounds absolutely incredible.
Mate, you need to get more Spider-Man in your life. You need to get more Spider-Man in your life. I actually didn't think you'd have an answer to this one, if I'm honest. Comics don't seem your style at any
I do too much Graham Potter bashing to have more time to watch it read comics.
Even as a 5-year-old, Owen Park was bashing Brighton.
I was not interested, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Foxy, I'll give you that one for... in fact, no, you can both have a point. Just save me taking a point off Owen. So Owen doesn't get a point. Jack,
I think that's fair.
Arguments. I could still put you on minus, but I won't.
I'd rather them two have a point.
Fair enough. We'll do that then. Right, next one, ready? Is it ready? What do you want immunity from?
Eddie Bosnar.
God, that is a shout.
I wouldn't mind immunity from him, to be fair, but no. Is this from all the vaccine stuff in the news this week for COVID-19?
That's the right answer. Yeah. Good one. Right.
In terms of what I'd love immunity from, be very difficult to get it, but stubbing your toe. So do you know if there was a way, like going back to the comic book sort of, if there was a way of knowing some sort of sense just before you're about to, that could stop? I think it's very difficult to compare like what else is on that level of like a sharp pain. And I think if you knew that you'd never do that again, like you'd walk around barefoot wherever, because it'd be like, well, you know, you can't do that. So for me, I immunity from stubbing your toe would be a great thing.
My pinky sense is tingling.
Yeah.
Foxy?
I know you said at the start you kind of got bored with all the Tory bashing, but I'm going to ignore that comment. So I think over 5 or 6 years, you kind of seen the growth and like people coming out the woodwork, kind of the Brexit, the anti-mask, anti-vaccine. They existed 5 or 6 years ago. I just didn't know any of them. So I quite like immunity from those people. So I could go back to not knowing any of them. I suspect they're probably quite like immunity from me as well. So it's a kind of a two-way thing and everybody wins. So yeah, from those people.
They were simpler times, weren't they?
They were much simpler.
Yeah. See, I say these people did exist, but we just didn't know.
Who were they? Didn't know them at all. Twitter doesn't help, but I didn't know.
Yeah, people you avoided down the ALOs basically for a good reason.
Yeah. I want immunity from feeling bad after a football match. I want every football match to finish with me feeling positive about it. In any football match ever. This is not just Everton. I want football to be a purely joyous thing for me. And if that's the case, I'll be even more happy.
Like Christmas Day.
Doesn't that go against everything you stand for, though? I personally want to derive joy out of football.
Well, this is the point. The result gives me joy, not the performance. So I want every result to make me feel happy.
Read you completely wrong, mate. I never saw that.
Is that a minus point?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Jack for his pinky stubbing, because there's no pain on earth quite like it. Not even a defeat at Big Red hurts quite as much as stubbing your little toe.
Used to that more, I think.
What's that?
It's a more familiar pain, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Maybe next derby defeat we just do that. Although if you did try and stub your toe, I don't reckon it hurts as much. I don't reckon you could get that perfect combination of angle, velocity, and edge to actually hurt the way it does when you do it accidentally.
Absolutely not. No, because you brace, don't you?
Yeah. There's all sorts of other factors involved. See, science on this program. Right, last one. What sport would you get rid of? I call time on that one. This is where I could have done with me bullseye noises. Unbelievable. Can't believe that doesn't work anymore. This is basically, it's very tenuous, this one. I was struggling last night. It's the £300 million emergency funding rescue package for a whole host of sports across the UK. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, but yeah.
The government are doing a £300 million funding package for sports. Both rugby codes are in there, horse racing's in there. Top Premier League and Championship football isn't, and cricket wasn't originally on the list, which I found quite odd. The biggest thing about it, though, that I found was the disparity between the payments for rugby union and rugby league. So rugby union's getting 135 million, rugby league's getting 12.
It's a surprise.
I mean, what do you need to keep rugby league afloat? Just a load of pies and scarves. I've never watched it. I'm generalising terribly there. My dad hate me for that. But yeah, it's like a massive disparity there. Football's getting 28 million. Greyhound racing's getting 1 million. Anyway, I will come to you first on this, Owen.
What was the question again? Sorry.
What sport would you get rid of?
What sport would it? Only one. What do I dislike the most? It would have to be. I don't know. I'm going to go with Formula One.
Shite.
Absolute
Also,
nonsense.
going for the drive, innit?
It's just, it's about as entertaining as fucking watching paint dry. If someone put it on once before, spin this right off. I'll even keep cricket over it. So Formula One's my answer. Lewis Hamilton's bloody what car he drives for made the news the other day. Who's bothered?
There are plenty of people who are into it, you know.
Oh, well,
it's not for me.
That says a lot.
Yeah, Foxy.
Anything with horses in. I can't stand anything with horses in. It's kind of quite a traditional sport in this country. It's quite a class-based, hierarchical sport, generally owned by very wealthy people. And it's just boring. It's just really dull. Never got into it. Never understood it. Like from 3-day eventing to horse racing, any of that stuff.
Yeah. Or even the equestrian stuff that do little dances. That's shite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with horses per se. Horses per se can carry on, but the sport with horses can go.
Horses can carry on. Just let me clarify that. Yeah, that's a shot goal. Jack.
For me, there's only one. It's tennis. I absolutely despise it. Like, I never like playing it. I hate watching it even more. I hate it when people talk about Wimbledon, like in like mid-November, like looking for. No, like I'm really not. Like, I don't give a shite. Like, it does absolutely nothing for me. I can never ever like. I don't know. People can watch singles, double. You know, when it's a sport and you've tried a couple of times. A bit like. Also, another one is like rugby union. Like, it's another one that I can see the appeal of it, but it's not for me. Tennis, it's just like pong, but with like more expensive trainers. Like, absolutely not. No.
Right. Now, you've nailed it there, because I can't give you tennis, because can you imagine a world without tennis gear?
That is, yeah.
There'd be no Stan Smith. There'd be no Lacoste tops. We'd all be wearing soft.
Yeah, that's an excellent caveat. To be fair, I will stand down, but as a sport, it's right. I think it's bobbins. I'm not having it.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you this for F1.
Yeah, it's shite.
I think it's borderline. It's borderline sport anyway, isn't it?
It is literally a drive, isn't it?
It's sort of like, if you've got the best car, that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, it's very incestuous.
There's no skill to it, is there?
What's up, Fox?
Well, it's the same people, like the families are in it and they get into it. So it's a very incestuous sport.
How'd you get into F1? How like, you couldn't do F1 in K, could you? If you went to the comp, like, what we do F1, like, whose turn is it now? And you're like, around Liscard Village. I don't get it. Have you got to be really good at go-karts? Like, I don't see how
B-side.
Yeah, Adventureland world champion, like that.
What they do is they have scouts knocking around D-side, and they see you right, and they'll just stand and watch you with the best racers, and that's how they get in, apparently. So we're here.
That's how they get the BMX, isn't it? They just go around looking for the best John Ed that can give his mates a head.
I'm not in it. Hanging around the BMX park.
It's quite exclusive as well, isn't it? I mean, it seems like there's only one type of tournament for F1 as well. It doesn't feel like anyone can get into it. So it's just no one will miss it, will they?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's the end of the hot topic round. We've ripped through that. Jack, you're on 3. Owen, you're on 1. Foxy, you're on 2. I'm going to take a little commercial break now to say I am this week one of Dan Bain's beers. It's a Holler Grisette, which you can buy from Exhale Brewery, which is this brewery. Got loads of beers and they're dead nice. And Dan's sound, so why wouldn't you want to buy them? Anyway, ask us anything round. Here we go. We'll start with one from last week. Ryan Reynolds asked, what are your favourite colour bills? Owen, I'll come to you first on this. You look like a guy who goes commando.
I'm don't have to demonstrate.
I'm just gonna say blue and move on.
The one these. Sound, Foxy?
Black. You have to go black for many reasons, but mainly you have to have to avoid any confusion. So yeah, black.
Jack?
Yeah, I'm with Fox on this one. It's black all the way. I'm I'm against like comedy bills. Dangerous people wear comedy bills now, I think.
Yeah. There's no place for them, is there?
No.
What sort of brief are we talking? This is very personal. You don't have to answer. What sort of brief are we talking? I don't like a baggy boxer myself.
No, absolutely not.
Ride up, awful.
Oh no, it's like wearing shorts that you wear for PE, isn't it? So no,
yeah, but under your kicks.
Yeah.
A nice boxer brief's fine.
Yeah, gotta be snug. Gotta be snug, cotton based.
Yeah, I think so. I'm glad we're all in agreement about that. Colin Jones has asked, any of yourselves going early on putting up Christmas decorations? Foxy, for the kids?
No, never. So for me, first week of December is weekend. The Christmas decorations go up. My next door neighbour, kind of opposite last year, put his decorations up about first week of November, and he had really bright lights outside the house. We've got blackout curtains, blackout blinds. We could still see them in our bedroom at night. I gave him quite a lot of stick, and he turned them off after a week. And I'm glad to say he hasn't put them back up again, which is a good thing. So yeah, for me, first weekend in December, that's the kind of start of Christmas period for me, and that's when the decorations go up.
Oh, do you want to put your decorations up in November for? It's not even. Oh, don't start me.
No, Owen, you're the one that loves Christmas, obviously.
Grinch.
I don't mind it, but I don't like it starting in November.
I just love how you can be dead down on any subject. It's brilliant. But so what would you say to putting decorations up in November? Obviously, you would incredulous at them, like people would.
It's bizarre. I mean, wouldn't it lose its touch by like the third week of December or wherever by the time it is actually Christmas? The 1st of December, anything earlier than that, I can't be having it.
Would you say the same for Christmas films and music?
Well, I mean, it's less obvious. So if a person wants to watch a Christmas film at the end of November, I can just about live with that.
Doesn't bother you too.
Watching Die Hard and Lethal Weapon.
I won't unfollow you on Twitter if you watch a Christmas film at the end of November.
Jack, where are you on this?
We're actually putting ours up on Sunday this week. We discussed it sort of the past sort of week or so, and we're moving into the new house. We got the keys to the new house October last year, but we didn't get to move in until March. So we missed out on one Christmas last year. So sort of with that, and then with everything that's gone on this year, and then with having Rudy, we've got to sort of spy our chance of getting the stuff up. And my mum and dad had offered to have him all day on Sunday. So with that, and with it being George's birthday the week after next, it was going to be either this weekend or next. So we didn't have any plans. So we said, well, yeah, so we're going ahead, and everything is going up, or near enough everything is going up on Sunday. Usual times, I'd always have it 1st of December, or whenever the first weekend of December would be. But yeah, this time round, I couldn't begrudge anybody else, hence me doing it myself and going early.
Fair enough. Owen and Foxy getting the points because it is wrong. But you've got your reasons. You've got your reasons. When do you take them down? I'm off on Boxing Day.
As soon as possible.
Yeah, my head's done in by the Boxing Day.
That's vile. That you might as well chuck your turkey out the window. No, it's first week in January. Wow. when you're really down and you do it like that Sunday. Usually we just after we've been knocked out in the third round. Usually that's it's
a bunch of kids
after Lee Hughes or who else is it that usually Lee Hughes or Matt Smith or someone has put us off the cup.
Matt Smith
or Curtis Bastard Jones.
Yeah.
Matt Rees from Lincoln.
Right, that's it. That's what started this year off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all been this year.
This coming.
That should have been as soon as that happened, it was this is the year, and everything started there. I don't know if it's got worse or if that was the highlight. I wouldn't like to say, but everything's come from that game, hasn't it?
It's all relative, but I think that is the worst thing to happen this year.
You can't argue with facts, and that is a fact.
That is just
that feels like 4 years ago,
doesn't it?
Oh my god!
That walk up to the ground and everything. Jesus. Laura's asked. Last week's loser, Laura, has asked, has lockdown any new hobbies/interests? She's recently taken up yoga and she's convinced it's changed her life. Yoga is very life-changing. I can prescribe it to anyone. I'm not a medic, but I can prescribe it. Foxy, taking up anything in lockdown?
Yes, I quite like reading, but I don't get to read that much. So I normally read 3 or 4 books a year. It's typically a few pages before I go to sleep at night, and then the next day I read one of the pages again and another 2 or 3 pages. So I make very slow progress through a book. I started getting audiobooks, which are really good. So you can listen to them as you're on the go. You do have to concentrate a bit, so sometimes you kind of lose the plot line a little, but I've probably listened to about 7 or 8 audiobooks in the last 2 months. So for me, that's quite big book consumption, which is nice. It's a bit of listen to Carlos Ancelotti's leadership thing, kind of the catalogue of Alan Partridge, which is.
So you're going to say Alan Partridge then?
Yes, Alan Partridge. That's yours, that's not me. But yeah, so it's been quite good to be able to kind of consume a few more books than normal, and yeah, that's been good.
Who reads Carlos? Is it some sort of Godfather type voice, or is it just a normal fella?
It's just an old fella.
Carlo Ancelotti's book, read by Marlon Brando's Godfather. Amazing. Owen, what have you taken up?
Well, within the period of lockdown, I've started my own blog, so I can kind of say that, can't I? So yeah.
Good answer. What's the name of the blog?
I think it's Owen's blog.
I have read it. But Owen's blog. Do a Google search for Owen's blog, see what you find.
Or just look on my Twitter, it'll be there.
What's that?
Or just look on my Twitter, it'll be there if you've got Twitter.
Yeah, link in bio. Jack?
I'd say I could split mine into 2. So first lockdown, I took up running, which was nice because the weather was a lot better, and I enjoyed that. Second lockdown, got a dog pretty much, certainly as soon as the shutters come down on everything. So I'd say taking up a puppy, I'd say, is probably the more challenging of the 2.
Yeah, a dog is for life, not just for lockdown. Do you realise this?
Exactly that. Well, yeah, because we'd said initially, it was back when lockdown started was when we first spoke about it. So March, April time. And we'd said sort of if we both still wanted one in I think we said 4 months. We basically said give it till September. So we knew it's a decent amount of time to say, well, we did, or it was just an impulse thing. And then it got to it, 1st September, we both do we both still want one? We were like, yeah, definitely. Even though I'd gone back to working part-time, Georgia was still going to be working from home. So then that made the decision for us then. And it's been a very interesting 6 weeks, but not one I regret it in the slightest. So
lovely stuff. I think we're going to have to give it to Owen, though. Not just because he's only on 2 points. Because he started the blog, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. How are you finding maintaining it?
Say that again.
How are you finding maintaining it? Are you keeping up with it all right?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean,
stuff like that, isn't it?
It's only watching football and writing about it.
Fair enough. Two things you're good at. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can watch football all day. So.
I asked, is one from me. Things got that bad. I have to start asking myself questions. It's BBC 6 Music T-shirt day. What's your best or worst band T-shirt or memorabilia? It's Football Shirt Friday as well. Hence, I've got the old flamenco top on. So you can pick a best or worst football shirt that you've got. It's up to you. Jack, will come to you first on this.
I'd say my best one outside of Everton is one you'll know very well. It's the polka dot France one.
It's an absolute winner.
Albeit one that I wouldn't wear to play football. It's if anyone hasn't seen it, it's white with would you say navy? Dot with a rose gold French badge, and it's just not the French team I'm in anyway, but just the top is absolutely stunning. I'd say worst that I've owned, a bit of a controversial one, this possibly, but do you know the Everton, the Mick Madar, Everton away. The yellow with the my best mate bought it me for me 21st a few years back, like, but not, because they remake them, don't they, with the like proper cotton and like the material, like the retro remakes. This was an original. How the hell do people play football in them tops? Like, I went to play six-a-side the week after, and I thought it was going to collapse. Like, the collar, it's literally like a collar like that, and it's knitted, and then the material itself is absolutely horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awful. Sunday League kits were exactly the same at the time.
Just like that.
Just
like David Byrne as a Sunday League kit.
It was. It was. Yeah, absolutely huge. And if you had a badge, you could get terrible jogger's nipple off it as well.
And that was what came with the with that Everton away. So I'd say best is that one. A shout out actually to Holland away one from a few years back. I think it's about 2006, 2007, and it's just a plain white one, Nike tip, Holland badge, and then it's got a sash, which is the Dutch flag, orange, white, blue going across it. And I've always had a soft spot for Dutch kits anyway, so that's well up there.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with me, my sort of religious beliefs, but I am a big fan of a sash. I do. I do love a kit with a sash. I'm amazed Everton have never remade the Black Watch kit.
Black Watch, yeah.
Why have you never done that?
Absolutely. Especially with
some... had moan about the red.
Especially with some of like... I mean, to be fair, no, this year's third kit I'm really into, but do you know, even with some of like the boring third kits I've had over the years, like I'd say it would have gone well outside of the vanilla one.
Oh, it was amazing. Socks as well, the whole kit.
The whole should be.
I was on a men's kit.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we need to go back to that Black Watch kit, even if it got red on it. Foxy.
So mine I thought was the best, but with growing maturity and fatherhood, I've realised it's probably the worst. Going back to the last, when I was kind of 18, 19, first year at uni, so 18. Unless you might remember a band called Gay Dad.
Yes, I do.
The rock band back in the time. So I went to see them in Bristol. Clearly bought the Gay Dad t-shirt, which basically just had Gay Dad written on it and a picture of a man walking randomly.
Yeah, it was like a road sign, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And I thought it was hilarious. Walked around uni a lot. I should probably add, my parents are kind of quite formal, quite traditional, not really known for their sense of humour. So I thought it'd be brilliant to then wear it at home that Christmas quite extensively, or at kind of all like the family gatherings. No one knew that Gay Dad was a band. They just thought I was making some kind of stuff. So kind of kept that going for a while. And I think I had it in my wardrobe for quite a few years, and it seemed to disappear about the time that I became a father for the first time. I think someone probably thought it was the right time to get rid of it at that age. But for something I thought was the best thing at the time, immature state, I've now realised with maturity it wasn't that sensible.
I do remember, I think he had sort of one hit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Song, but I did like it. Then he I think one of those bands you probably
Earth with Love or something.
Yeah, To Earth with Love, that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so 90s. Such a 90s. Owen?
The worst kiss, the worst top I've ever had would have been that 17-18 Everton home kiss. That was absolutely dreadful. That I don't even know how to explain this. It's that dull. It was just like 4 different like shades of blue.
Yeah, sports pizza.
Yeah,
I've got that one. Yeah.
If there was ever a top to bloody represent a year of football, it would be that.
Yeah,
it's like a training top.
Yeah.
No,
like a bang average training top.
The worst.
Oh God, horrific! It really did sum up that season, didn't it?
I used to before I used to go to the match. I used to get and thought, oh, I fucking hate this. But I used to imagine about how much I hated it at the top.
Foxy getting it for Gay Dad. Owen, you're going to get a point anyway, just for the just for sort of the way that kit definitely encapsulates that season. There's definitely something in that.
I deserve a point for having to have worn that top.
You didn't have to. No one's making you worthy.
Yeah,
I think I wore that yesterday.
Did you? Yeah, I think. What was the away kit that season? I've got no concept of time or space or anything at the minute. But
I can't remember.
Bought the kids. Definitely didn't time the home
Let
kit.
me have a look.
Definitely never. Next question's from Foxy. It's from Dave Downey's excellent 101 podcast, which is very good. Post-lockdown, and we're all allowed back in Goodison, what's the first thing you change about going to see Everton and you can't say the score? Owen, I'll come to you first on this, and you also can't say that rubbish kit.
I would change would probably be the negativity around me, the negative people. I would
Round you at the ground.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Say that again. Well, I'm not a negative at the match. That's what.
Oh no, I said I'm sorry about that. I didn't think you could hear me. I don't usually like to shout that loud. Where'd you say, Owen?
Upper Gladys Street.
That's meant to be the most positive part of the ground, as well.
Well, not where I sit, Jesus.
That's where they did that survey the other week about being the least stressful club to support. How the hell did anyone come to that conclusion?
See away fans.
What's that?
The away fans, it's less stressful for them.
I mean, it isn't. It's not even negative, but about 3 or 4 people make it really negative. So I would just change negativity in Goodison, though some people wouldn't change that for the world.
I'm just going to give you a big parking boo for that answer, by the way.
Yeah.
Is 60 one of those negative people or not?
No, he's not negative. He's just an idiot for calling Seamus Coleman. Oh, change him as well. Jesus.
Does he have a season ticket, that fella? Because I was convinced he must have just been like a one-seat wonder.
No, he's there every week. I remember. Well, the reason I wouldn't change him now is because he had the same hot chocolate stain in his back for us about a year.
Oh no, that's bad.
It was amazing.
I'll tell you what though, I do think of that fella. I don't even know the fella, but I do think of 60 quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's on Twitter.
Surprised you how much you think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, immense.
I thought Peanuts was bad, but 60 is horrendous.
It completely out Kipper's Blue Kipper, doesn't
Mm.
it? Jacko,
James Coleman's playing quite well now as well, so he'd be like revving him up there.
Do you know what? That's got to be one of the positive things about not being back. Certainly for you, mate. Imagine. Jack?
The queues in the park end, they're just, I don't know, like, it's not a personal thing, but it's just like, it's not even that I get into the ground that late, but it's just even if you want a cup of tea or anything, everything always seems to be an ordeal. And you order off one, get the change off the other, pay the last one, and then you think, well, someone else has had me a cup of tea by the time you've got it. Everything just seems to be traumatic, you know, and that's without that. We haven't kicked the ball yet. So Seamus Coleman hasn't miscontrolled it out of play, or Yerry Mina hasn't mistimed the tackle, and you're already in a bad mood. And I think that there's something in that with the park end, that already, before you've sat down, you're annoyed, aren't you? So yeah. It's like, well, you want to get a bottle, you want to get a drink, it's like, oh, we've got none of them, or the fridge is broke, or the fridge is working, but they're making the tea out the fridge, you know, like, and then you sit down, and you've got like a cold pie and a hot pint, and everything about it just seems to be all over the place. So I'd say the queuing system in the park end.
That's a great shout. That is
a good shout. And you know what? Even the final whistle isn't a sweet release from the misery, because every part of the ground is empty before the park end. We sit right in the back corner, and before we've got anywhere near the exit, the street end's empty, the Bullens are gone. Even the main stand, which if anyone's been in there, is an absolute rabbit warren to get out of. The main stand. It's all empty.
I remember one week, I don't know why I was staying late. I just stayed a bit after the match, and there's still like loads of people in the park end, and I thought, are these having to sit in here or something? Because there was just loads of people.
Don't get out.
we actually hate the match more than probably anyone in the ground, but we can't get out. That's the problem. So when you hear like people, oh, these outlasses leaving the park end early, it's just so we get home before the next game starts. Foxy, what would you change then?
So mine is loud, stupid opinions. So slightly different to negativity. I'm okay with negativity. I'm okay with just getting frustrated and getting annoyed. You know, the survey came out the other week. If there's an option that you could avoid loud, stupid opinions and pay more money, I would have taken that as an option, somewhere to sit. So I don't have a season ticket. I tend to sit in different areas of the ground each time I go. So mainly main stand, sometimes Bullen, sometimes the paddock, sometimes the Gladys. To be honest, I haven't sat in the park end for about 20 years. But for those reasons you said, that's not because everyone's negative, because you can't get a cup of tea. It's the people who kind of shout, why isn't he our best striker? And you're like, he's not our best striker. Or like, why doesn't that guy hit a blind 40-yard pass that no one can see except for you because you've got this view? Or, I don't know. Or when you get, I don't know if you've had it, like the match commentary of the guy sat next to you. You ever had that? So
never had that, thankfully.
And I've had someone sat next to me just doing like a full ball-by-ball commentary. And I thought he was doing that for someone sat next to him, but he wasn't. It was by himself.
Jesus.
Kind of stuff you're like, yeah, I would like to leave behind. So just like the loud, silly opinions, people, and just aggression, being pissed off, absolutely fine. But good opinions would be nice.
Fair enough. Do you know what you need in the new ground? Do you see that 4-seater thing that you were advertising?
Oh yeah, just to myself.
Just you. You just lie across all 4 seats.
Spend 10 grand a season just for one. That'd be great.
Imagine the joy you'd have. It wouldn't matter about the game. Put something
you
else on the telly, whatever.
You could boo in comfort, couldn't you?
You could, yeah.
I understand what he's saying, no, because I had to have a discussion yesterday with someone on Twitter who said Tim Howard was an Everton legend. So
I did see that. I muted myself. I was like, I can't even believe I'm reading this.
Oh yeah, nonsense.
So when you went in there, you went for it.
Yeah, I mean, he said underrated Everton players, and he said Seamus Coleman. I said, well, you can't say Seamus Coleman because people call him a legend, and if people are calling him a legend, he can't possibly be underrated, can he? And he went, well, if he's not a legend, that means Tim Howard and Leon Osman aren't legends either.
Oh, is he not reading legend right? Has he got leg end or something?
I think he must have. Everton legend. Brilliant.
Tim Howard.
Oh God, Jack, I'm gonna have to go park in solidarity, I think, because know that pain until you've sat there. Foxy, if you need a ticket next season or whenever we can go back, give us a shout because the kids might not go to a game. And
okay.
You come sample of the lights of the park end with us.
Look forward to
it. About it.
Yeah, we'll look at you.
Okay, a cup of tea.
yeah, we'll send you down for the brews, Defo. Matt Jones has asked, with Premier League footy no longer on pay-per-view, what's the most you've ever overpaid for something? It can be an item, a sporting event, whatever, anything. Jack, what have you overpaid for?
One trivial, one not so much. Liam Gallagher's tour, I think it was December, I want to say 18, it might have been 17, I can't remember. But when he done the gig in Manchester at the arena, we all tried for tickets. 2 of the lads got them. I didn't, but really wanted to go and see it. So I was like, right, well, I'll just come to Manchester, get a ticket from a tout. And then we'll split the cost of the ticket between us 3 ways. And then we'll add the cost of theirs, which I think face value was, I think, still like, I want to say something like 50 or 60 quid.
Yeah, I went to see him in Liverpool. It was about 50 quid. That's about right there. Right.
So they both paid that. The ticket that I ended up paying, we couldn't find a tout. We were sort of drinking around right by Victoria Station, so quite near to the arena, and from about 4-ish, just spying the chance. Because usually, like with any sort of gig that I've been to around there, usually chocker. But you know, it is like the Liam Gallagher thing. So I was like, right, maybe I have to pay a bit over the odds. I ended up, the only standing ticket that I got offered was 15 minutes before they were going to stop letting in, and it was 200 quid. So paid it, split between the 3 of us, so it ended up being like 100 quid each, which if you were paying that sort of the day after they'd gone on sale, wouldn't have been so bad. The gig itself was fantastic, but very thankful of the caveat that they'd agreed to split it 3 ways, because as good as the gig was, there's not much you could, especially when Glastonbury's like 250. Like, it's difficult to then justify 200 quid for one gig.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I went to get a bagel from a cafe in Hoylake on my lunch the week before last, from a bougie cafe that had just opened up. And it was when the Eat Out to Help Out was on. And I hadn't done that much reading around it. It was like, oh, go out and get me lunch. And didn't realise it was for eating only. I spent £9.60 on a bagel and a can. And by the time I'd ordered it and she told me how much it was, I don't have that in me to have the front to say, I'm not paying that, or I didn't have my phone on me, so I couldn't go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. So have you ever been in one of them situations where you've got to like, okay, pay it, and then you sat there eating it angry at yourself? And I was like, the bagel was nice, but you know, when you're just like, that's £2, that's another £1, and you just like, like
just drop 50p on the floor.
Do you know, it's also that amount of money where like you pay 200 or something for a gig, and it's like, it's a lot of money, but you can see sort of, yeah, that's for, but it's that trivial amount where you're like, I've been out here, and it's like, there's absolutely nothing you can do.
I mean, you will go ordering a foie gras and truffle bagels, won't you? You know, this.
That's the fight. Your hands are tied, aren't they?
Well, you know,
the life you choose to lead.
What was on it, incidentally?
It was like a tuna melt, so tuna, and as far as I'm aware, it was not gold plated. And then it was just like a little bit of red onion and probably dairy lait cheese. They definitely see. And no wonder, because like from the outside, it was absolutely chocker inside. So I was like, I'm gonna have to take away it, and I didn't realise that the 2-for-1 was only on eating in. So me getting done over by the Tories once more.
Oh, unbelievable! Westwood a life for you, that, mate.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Isn't it? Foxy?
Yeah, I'm not a season ticket holder, as I said before, but I'm on the Everton membership. So it's basically you pay 30 quid a season to get better access to tickets and to be on a season ticket waiting list. It's the whole point of it. So this year, there's no tickets. So you're really just paying 30 quid to remain on the membership list. There's 10,000 people. You're going to take, we said in Goodison, it'll take forever to actually get a season ticket in Goodison. So you're really paying to stay on the queue to get into Bramley Moor Dock in 3 or 4 years' time. So for my 30 quid this year, I got 4 of those.
A coaster?
4 shitty Everton coasters.
Oh.
And I'm on a waiting list, so that's great.
I mean, that's basically the reason I'm keeping my season ticket going. Just to be like sort of front of queue for Bramley Moor. Can't really see what reason.
Oh, don't worry, you'll get access to the stream for next pre-season. Now you might as well need to start logging in for now, because you might get it in the first game.
3-0 down against Blackpool.
And then your stream cuts off. That's it. Yeah. I think with our season tickets this year, they sent us out a little pack, and I had a little pin badge in it, and what looked like a season ticket. Turn the season tickets over, and it says this is only used for discounts in the shop. So it looks like they already had all these season tickets already made up, just needed to print the back of it for everyone. And they just thought, well, fuck it, we might as well use them for something. So we've got a little discount card for the shop, apparently. Never tried to use it, though. Owen?
Oh, no doubt this one. The Costa in my uni, 4 copies, about 40 quid.
How's that work?
What?
No, it isn't that much, but it feels like it. By the time you've gone up to 4 of them, you need to remortgage the house before you get in.
So there's no NUS discount there, no?
No, if anything, you get added on, because I'm sure they're more expensive than the usual Costa. But I don't question it. I go back every time.
It's coming to something though, isn't it? When a coffee costs more for students than a T-shirt at Topman.
It feels like it anyway, because
that's pretty bad, that.
And I did get confirmation of someone the other day that they are more expensive in the uni campus than the actual ordinary high street. But, well, they must see me coming, mustn't they?
And he's back. Here he comes. We'll put his student levy on. Here we go. Reverse NUS or something.
It's not really that expensive. They just see me and just like click a button and all new prices come up.
think Foxy's going to have to get it for his £30 coaster set from Everton. Cheeky bastards, aren't they?
That's incredible.
He knows he've got you, don't he?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Right, Jack, here's your question now. There is, of course, a right answer to this, as will become apparent when you hear the teams. Well, Jack Carlisle asked last week, Blue Room v Turn, 6-a-side, purple bins v everyone else. Who triumphs? Owen?
No idea.
But this is where you've got to know your crowd here, right? So it's basically anyone with a purple bin versus anyone from the oblong, or someone who hasn't got a purple bin. Who's going to win that football match?
I'll let the others answer.
Good then, Jack, give your rationale behind this one.
Well, I think, right, being very biased, I think it's whoever has Adam Sutton probably wins, doesn't it? Don't they?
I would say so, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, he doesn't have a purple bin.
He doesn't have a purple bin.
Vis-a-vis.
He's no fan of the oblong, though, apparently.
No, that's true. That's true. So he would have to be sort of a mercenary one-game wonder. But I can't see outside of that. I mean, who else have you got that would be... What would Matt come under?
He has got a purple bin, hasn't he? We've got Mosey. Mosey's a good player.
Mosey's very good, to be fair. Yeah.
Got Mosey. I'll just snap someone and then go and goal.
Have we got Laura?
That's what they're taking out.
Yeah. We've got Laura.
We do have Laura, yeah.
Yeah. And they'd have Dave, wouldn't they? Paddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen any of these. Have you seen any of these play?
I haven't. I hear Dave's got a great touch for a big fella, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I hear he's got a touch of a surgeon, to be honest. Yeah. No, seriously, though, I've heard Dave's very good, actually.
I can't look past the non-purple bins.
It's true, isn't it? Foxy, would you concur with that? It's a compelling argument.
It is. I think whatever team Laura's on will win because she wouldn't bear losing.
That's a tremendous...
Whatever side she's on is going to be win. And yeah.
We hadn't even factored in to win.
She'd have to be captain of the non-purple.
Take all the penalties, take all the throw-ins, take all the goal kicks, take all the corners.
Like when we got Rudy back.
This definitely needs to happen now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We need to make sure you should ask this as a recurring theme, as a question to say, because we need squad lists.
We do, actually, yeah. Yeah, I'll put that out later. This is going to happen. As soon as we can get back on the pitch, we'll do it. Over Arsenal, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, defo. No points to that one. That was just for fun. Right, we're going on to the true or false round, though. So at the end of Ask Us Anything, Jack's on 5, Owen's on 4, Foxy's on 6. All to play for with true or false now. Attention, as ever, is palpable. So remember, do a T, true. One of them for false. It's like a little side F sign, apparently. So true or false. A man from the USA consumed his 20,000th Big Mac on October 11th, 2012, after eating at least one a day for 40 years. True or false?
Gotta be.
Okay. On the 24th of October 2014, the fastest time to eat 15 Ferrero Rocher was set at 1 minute 10 seconds. True or false?
How many? 15.
15 in 1 minute 10 seconds. True or false? That's false from Owen. It's a false from everyone. Look at that.
That's implausible.
Paul McCartney's middle name is James. So it's false from Jack, true from Owen, and true from Foxy. So I can tell you, first question, no one got right. It's false. It was his 26,000th Big Mac. He got at least one a day for 40 years, not his 20,000. Similar for the Ferrero Rocher one, which you all got right. It was actually 2 minutes and 22 seconds to eat 15 Ferrero Rocher. It's all good knowledge, this, straight up facts. And Jack was the only one who got the Paul McCartney question right. It is false. James is his first name. His middle name is Paul, which means it finishes on a tiebreak. And obviously, I've not got the tiebreak question ready. So I'll just quickly go on to Everton results. There we go. So Owen, a valiant effort there. 5.
That's fine. I mean, it was due to be minus at one point, so do you know what? We can take what you can get.
Do you know what? It was a very Moyes-like start, wasn't it? That?
Yeah. Slow start to the season, but picked up towards the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Always ending with a 1-0 draw away some mid-table team. Usually Stoke.
After being 1-0 up in the 89th minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I've done that one. We'll have to do something else. Really should have sorted this out before, shouldn't I? Highest League Cup, have we done that?
Didn't say it coming, did you?
I didn't, people say that I fixed the score on this thing when I quite clearly don't.
This is living proof.
Out of control.
This is. All right, highest League Cup attendance away from home. So,
What?
here we go. 1976-77, League Cup quarter-final away at Man United. Everton won 3-0, goals from Martin Dobson and 2 from Andy King. Right, what was the attendance at Old Trafford on that day?
Total attendance.
Total attendance on the day at Old Trafford for that quarter-final League Cup game.
That didn't happen. Everton didn't win 3-0 away from home at Old Trafford in the quarter-final of the Cup. Didn't happen.
He had to have got beaten the semi.
When was this? 76, 7? No, we got the final. We got beat after the third replay against Aston Villa.
Imagine 3 cup finals. They couldn't survive the first.
I think so. It was Wembley at first, and then I think it was Main Road, and then Hillsborough.
Imagine Twitter then. Can't even beat them after 3.
Imagine going to all them as well, because I think they were in pretty quick succession. I was born in between, I think, the second and third one. Shite.
It's your fault.
Ben Jack, what do you reckon? I'll give you a sort of benchmark.
Yeah, ballpark.
It's between 50 and 60,000.
I'm going to go 57,804.
Foxy?
55,000 ish.
Jack, eerily, the attendance was 57,738. So
wow.
You're far off, which makes you this winner again.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. And no one's ever done 3. So if you want to come back next week and try for the 3rd,
I think I'm going to have to now, aren't I?
Not even Jock managed that. Keith couldn't manage a 3rd win. So
I've done
Christmas decorations up.
What's that? You know what? If it had taken that point off like it was gone, my God.
Pencil in the air.
And a pair of novelty boxes. Right. As ever, that was a pleasure, lads. Thanks to Foxy, thanks to Owen, thanks to Jack, thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.